Oh yeah, the new Sonic game's coming out. Can't wait to see all the reviews for it, man. It's so fucking great. Time to go on Nintendo Life and see what everyone's saying about it, man. It's gonna be the greatest reviewed game of all time, I bet. Cue the fucking music. No, not that one. No. Who the fuck is editing this, goddammit? Let us go on a tangent today. I am legitimately gonna go on a tangent, because this is the kind of shit that I love to do on a nice Saturday morning. And rather than watching Saturday morning cartoons, back when they were, good. Mick Gordon, of all people, has unfortunately been dealt a very bad hand by id Software and Bethesda. But oh wait, you can't blame Bethesda, they're just the publishers. You mean like when everyone on the goddamn platform loses their fucking mind whenever Blizzard does something stupid and the Activision deal and people are like, oh man, I really want to play Crash Bandicoot, but Activision, man, even though in your fucking dumbass's logic, they're just the publishers. So are you trying to say that they're involved with the games or not? This is the Corona fucking Do Eternal Easter egg all over again. And the fact that I brought that up, I have to go fucking vomit now. Let me perform some wonderful bulimic actions. TikTok. This is unfortunately the dark side of loving a company in name only, in that they are just as much of an asshole as other people, and unfortunately it only takes one bad apple to, well, tarnish a company name, especially when it's software in name only. So Mick Gordon showed a bunch of receipts showing that he was essentially not treated as well as he would have liked, making noise for modern Doom's soundtracks, especially Doom Eternal. And with all the fishy nonsense that was brought within Doom Eternal's soundtrack, Mick Gordon has unfortunately been dealt a very shitty hand from id Software in name only, since Marty, whatever the fuck his name is, I don't want to acknowledge his last name, much like with Father Asshole from Bloodborne, but let's keep it a little serious. Before I continue, I just want to say, I can't stand the modern Doom soundtrack. I legitimately do not think it's good music. I would rather listen to Gargoyle's theme from Killer Instinct 2013. That to me is what Doom should sound like. And while I could say a million and one things about people being disrespectful to Bobby Prince's music because he ripped off music that was popular during the 90s, I'm going to put my biases aside in this one instance, because what id Software in name only, even if it's one person id Software in name only, what he did to Mick is unfortunately fucked up. And as a result of the internet finding out about this when Mick decided to speak up, everyone on Steam is deciding to review bomb the game. And of course you have people like Brother Near 2.0 and whoever else might be doing this are saying you shouldn't review bomb the game, because that puts id Software into a bad spotlight. You shouldn't review bomb the game. And all I can think of is this isn't even the first time the game got review bombed. And what's actually kind of funny, or otherwise, if you even want to call it funny, is that the game being review bombed the first time was perfectly legitimate. And it's because of the kernel de novo device that was going to be implemented into the multiplayer, and people were rightfully pissed about it. But apparently you're not allowed to review bomb because people put their hard work and tears into this perfect little game, and yet when it has anti-business consumer practices you get pissed off anyway, but we can't review bomb at the same time either. And even in this case of review bombing Doom Eternal the first time, they actually went back and, reversed that decision, because it wasn't exactly great to have a game that might as well be single player. And by the way, Elden Ring has a more purposeful multiplayer mode, but that's because it is a homogenized version of Dark Souls, but I'm not going to get into that shit. People say you shouldn't review bomb a game because it ruins the reputation of a company like id Software in name only, but the first time it made perfect sense, so what are people supposed to do? Sit on our asses and wait for nothing?
The only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing.
I'm gonna go ahead and quickly talk about the Sonic Frontiers debacle. I personally am not going to be playing the game anytime soon. I don't really have any interest in playing a homogenized open world game because, you know, when anything that isn't from software or whatever IP that gets a pass into going open world goes open world, it all of a sudden gets criticized because it's Sonic the fucking Hedgehog. Everyone has fucking bipolar disorders, doubly so for the Sonic fandom, who legit can't make up their fucking minds whether they want to like the game or hate the game. My stance is I'm going to wait until the game either goes on sale or I can, well, you know, find a way to play it and just, well, judge myself, because I, quite frankly, do not want to keep giving Sega money for products that will just disappoint me in the long run. I bought Sonic Forces 5 years ago at full price and pre-ordered that shit and I only played it once. Safe to say I did not get my money's worth out of it, which is disgusting. But people on Twitter sure love to advocate people to be properly critical of things, and yet when you have someone on Nintendo Life posting a very fair written review on a new game that should be given, you know, some proper feedback, Twitter loses its mind. I guess some people are kind of right saying that having it being a lower score than Sonic Forces is kind of messed up, but that's assuming you're going by that number scores are apparently a death sentence. It even reminds me of IGN's Doom 2016 review where everyone got pissed off because it wasn't given the perfect 10 out of 10 numeric score that everyone expects, even though they also say numeric scores are bullshit, yet they get pissed off if they see a number that isn't a 10 out of 10. Former DSP detractor Pyro Megadev said it best that a certain number is apparently a death sentence.
An average review is like, what, 6 or 7, and that's a death knell in the gaming universe, so...
Pretty much. If it's not a 9 out of 10, it's not any good.
Going back to the Nintendo Life review, I quite frankly don't really like Nintendo Life anymore. I think most of their articles are kind of pointless and kind of whatever. And people are like, oh, why did this fan game get taken down? And they have to double dip on that. And especially when the first time they advertised the fucking thing. So, more clicks, more money, more boom, boom, boom. But whatever, let's just move on. People really need to stop being all fucking, oh my god, this person wrote a perfectly fair review but gave a low score, so let's bomb the shit out of them. Going back to IGN one more time. I know IGN isn't exactly the greatest review site out there. I'm not going to deny that either. But Doom 2016 given a 7 out of 10, assuming that anything higher than whatever number is acceptable these days, I think a 7 out of 10 is a perfectly reasonable score for a game that is okay when you play it, but then it starts to get repetitive. A multiplayer mode that is only enjoyable if you're playing with friends, having the exact same issues as Modern Warfare 2 from 2009, where you can't really play the game unless you're playing with friends, and despite the game being on Game Pass now, nobody's fucking playing it, which is funny to me, because Doom was never about the multiplayer. Ding. I think they're only talking about the single player, but it gets easily repetitive and yet people lose their fucking minds, especially when it's IGN. But in that one instance, I'd be inclined to agree that a 7 out of 10 is a reasonable score for a repetitive game like Doom 2016. Call me crazy, I'm not wearing a tinfoil hat, but what the fuck? You people seriously need to fucking choose whether you're for numeric scores or otherwise. And even when someone does post a fair criticism review of Sonic Frontiers, the thing you want everyone to do, not just posting, this game sucks, without saying anything why, and when they do, you fucking lose your minds. Fucking pissed off and tired of this bullshit, dude. Why you people can't fucking make up your goddamn minds of what you want people to do when criticizing your precious little perfect games? I don't know why these people can't just hold an L for once when someone says that their game isn't perfect and has legitimate issues with the game. And even going by the comments on the Twitter thread from that Nintendo Life article, people are saying it's just a fairly written review. It's just people are jumping the gun. I don't really have anything else to say. I apologize if this wasn't one of my better tangents out there, but this is legitimately fucking stupid. Not be standing by while the internet burns because of some stupid numeric score bullshit and Bethesda fucking everyone over. Oh, wait, guys. They're just a publisher. I'm sorry. I'll see myself out now. Okay, bye.